everybody. We are back. It is Wednesday. It is 3 years time for AMA, and I'm happy that you're with us right now and looking forward to all of your questions coming up during our AMA. And of course, I would like to invite you also to be a part of our communities. We are on Telegram, on Twitter, and on Discord. And of course, to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you will get notifications whenever we are going live. Welcome. My name is Anita Mlakar. Maybe you already know that, but if you don't, I'm the host of this AMAs. And of course, Sandi Bitenc, the CEO of 3Air, will be joining us in a couple of seconds, maybe in a minute, because first I would like to do a short introduction of what we are doing at 3Air before we give you the opportunity to ask questions. So what are we doing? We are giving people of Africa internet connection. So connecting the unconnected. Unlike the advanced and developed countries, Africa is far behind when it comes to development. Africa has the lowest number of internet connections. Only 22% of the continent has access. It also has the largest potential for progress. And 3Air has done extensive research, saw the growth potential in Africa, and came up with blockchain solution. Broadband internet connectivity infused into the blockchain technology. It is really an amazing innovation. So once people have internet connections, once we provide African people with internet connection, we can also provide them with digital identities. Then we can bank the unbanked, create an easy-to-use system for acquiring ISP services, provide microloans to people in Africa, implement security and fraud prevention features, enable secondary markets for bandwidth and other subscription services, and so on and so on. So 3Air is working on Africa and has the plan of going global. We were talking about it the last time in our AMA, and of course we will continue this conversation today. So I am happy to welcome and say hello to Sandi Bitenc, the CEO of 3Air. Hello, Sandi. Hey, Sandi. Please do tell us, where are you right now and what are you doing? Sandi, I see that you do hear me, but I do not hear you. So I will give you the question right now. In the meantime, I will take care of my audio, okay? And I'm sure that our listeners are also hearing me. So what I don't get is, the voice from you, but I hope that everybody else is hearing you. But of course, we can check this with our people in a chat. Wait a minute. Do we hear Sandi? Am I the only one who has the problem right now? Just let us know. Okay, I don't think there is any problem. Let's just wait for a second. Because if I'm the only one with the problem, then I will solve my problem. It is you? Okay. Yes, of course, no problem. We'll give you a second just to take care of it. Because we would really like to hear what you have to say today, Sandi, There's some questions also that came in our communities on Telegram. Thank you, by the way, for being a part of our community. And thank you for asking questions. Thank you for being interested in our project. We are doing everything to answer your questions right away in our communities. But otherwise, there is always AMA every 14 days, every second Wednesday here on our channel, so that you can get informations that you like, and of course use the opportunity also today to ask questions. Okay, Sandi is out right now. We will wait for him for a couple of seconds to see if he will solve the problem with audio. And in the meantime, I'm giving you the opportunity, of course, to get some comments, to write some comments about what do you think about the work that 3Air is doing. Maybe I ask some questions right now so that later on Sandi could answer those questions. And thank you, of course, for giving us a feedback about what we are doing. So let's wait for Sandi. Sandi is in Dubai. You didn't hear him like I didn't, but we were talking about it earlier before he came in. And he told me that he was in Dubai, but only for another day, because then again, he's going to Egypt, to Cairo, and there is another conference meeting waiting for him. And what he also told me before we started this conversation live, he told me that he will give you a special opportunity this in this AMA to see how we are planning the roadmap, what 3R is doing about going global. And he has a little presentation, and we will be talking about that. So I'm really looking forward and can't wait for him to come back, and that he will have the connection, that he will be okay with his audio. Let's see if Sandi is back. I see that he's trying. And I do know that he has a good connection in Dubai, where he is right now. So, oh, Sandi is writing, I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, thank you, Kalechi. The service is poor from CEO. Yes, we found that and know that now. I do have a little different hair color. Thank you for noticing, Joga. Yes, just it's a little darker. But I hope it's okay too. But I like my color, maybe even more the color that I have before. But that is not the subject of today's conversation. But thank you for noticing. Okay, so let's wait for Sandy to come back. Who is with us today? And I would really appreciate it if you told us where you're from, where you are listening and looking at this AMA right now, to have a little more information about that in the meantime when we are waiting for Sandy. Otherwise, Project of Free Air is doing great, is really, really going global now. And well, Sandy is the one who will tell you more, but it's really Africa. Africa was the first country, of course, that we started working with. And now that we had some issues there because of all the situation that is going on, we decided, of course, to go global. And in the meantime, also to do things globally, not only in Africa. And I do see that you agree with that. I was reading your comments on Telegram and on Twitter. And it is nice, of course, to have you here to support us and to be okay with what we are doing. And that is also why this AMA is such a great opportunity, to get to know what is actually happening. Miran is from Slovenia. Oh, Miran, nice to hear and read that you're from Slovenia. That is also my country, from Maribor. And it's nice to have you here also. Austria, really? This is my neighbor, and I'm just going there the next week. So yeah, Graz and Vienna. Looking forward to that too. Still waiting for deers. Yes, still waiting, Joga. But Sandy has more information also about that. But it's still on hold, or let's say it is in development. So absolutely still interesting and working on it, but waiting. Yes. Okay, let me just check if I have a message from Sandy, what is going on, because if he's having, I think that he's back right now. Yes, I just wanted to check where he is. And I think we have him back. Sandy, we can see you now, but still cannot hear you. No. But of course, we have to sort out this problem if we want to have today's AMA with Sandy. Otherwise, I will be the only one doing the talking, and I don't think you will get as much information from me as you could get it from Sandy. Still solving the problem. And we don't mind if you have Anita Mlakar as your name right now, because we have bigger issues to solve. And we were just, we were just solving the problem with my microphone before we started, and with my headphones. And look at that. Yes, we see. Yes, we can see that and hear that there's no sound. And of course, Sandy is working on that right now. We have a great connection, Sandy. We have great picture from you, but just no sound. No, unbelievable. We are not satisfied only with your picture, and your video. We need you to do the talking. I also don't think there is any problem with stream. Otherwise, I would be without audio too. And but thank you for staying with us, of course, and you are patient. Sandy, no, right? We still have this problem, this issue right now. Okay, wait a minute. I thought I heard something, Sandy, but no, still no. Still no sound. That was a wordplay joke. No Sandy, no soundy. Yes, you are funny. You have a sense of humor, Joga. Thank you. We need that right now, right? But it is only, another proof that we are live every time and that we're doing this live. It's like television. I used to work on television, and sometimes, okay, Sandy, will you try something else? Will you come back? Should we wait for you or come back later, maybe? What do you suggest? You can write me on our chat. If we were recording that, then there would be no issues. But we are live, so that's what is going on when we're going live. Okay. Sandy, maybe we should both disconnect and try to get. Well, there was some sound now, Sandy. Maybe there is some issue. What are you doing right now? Because I heard something. Maybe it's something with computer and connection. Let me just see. No. What about if there's something in settings? No. No luck, right? Sandy, let's take care of this. Let's solve this and come back in maybe 5 or 10 minutes. We still have another, like, let's say 40 minutes of our AMA, so there's time for that, okay? And I would really, really appreciate if you would all come back to this AMA or have patience to wait, because, yeah, he says that he's tried three mics and none is working. Or maybe there is, maybe reconnect with mobile phone, Yoga's saying. Maybe should we try that? Sandy, do you have opportunity to do that? At least to have some connection with you? That's a great suggestion, by the way. Thank you. Richard, hi, you're also here with us. Patiently waiting. These are really the fans of 3 Air, Sandy, because they're with us even when you have no voice. And maybe there will be some luck with the phone right now and connection with the phone. It's strange though, because before we started live, we just had great connection also with the sound. Soundy. Let's just wait for another moment or two to see if we can connect with Sandi again. Otherwise, through other channels. I'm just gonna check if something is going on in our channel on Telegram. Maybe you're commenting also there something, or asking some questions, having some suggestions. Okay, maybe this will work now. Should we stop playing you here, Sandi, so that you could come back with the phone? Or I don't think that's a problem, or? No, okay. No, right? Oh, okay, Sandi. Let's see.
How about
Okay.
now?
Oh, we can hear you.
Okay, but now we have a echo.
Yes, maybe you should disconnect from computer.
No, but I'll need a computer. This is now really.
We still have echo. Okay. He did mute the computer, but still, he also muted his sound here. Still a problem. It's like we're having a little technical elf today. But we are solving the problem, and that is the most important thing. Working on it. Okay, Lechi said that he also has bad connection.
Let's see if it's now okay.
Yes.
Okay, no echo.
No echo. We can hear you. Your voice is
I
great.
literally have my computer muted and it's still playing sound. I don't know what's happening.
I'm saying there's something weird going on today, Sandi.
Something really weird. Something really weird.
But hey, we are back and we are live on our AMA, and we have our CEO with us. We have the sound of our CEO, Sandi. Hello and welcome to our AMA.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I did ask you a question earlier, where are you? But we did not hear you. So I explained later on that you are in Dubai and just for another day because you are going to Cairo to another conference. But right now you are here. And this is, of course, also the opportunity for everyone to ask questions and get some answers. But Sandi, the last time we were together, we were talking about our roadmap, about the fact that 3Air is also going global, staying in Africa, but going global with some project. And what you promised is to tell us more about it today. And since now we have you live here and we can hear you, so we are really looking forward to that.
Yeah, okay. Let me now try to get the presentation up and running. I had everything set up before. I guess it was I connected a new GoPro to it and it just messed everything up right now.
Okay.
That was the main issue. But I'll need to still put this one on, I think. Let's hope we don't get an echo again. Share my screen. Okay, can you
Great.
see my screen now? You can, right?
We can see the screen, yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is about, what I was talking before. So we are global. We are having now the tagline permissionless mobile services for your community. And I don't know how much I told you the last time, but what we're trying to do is actually to enable everyone to become a mobile operator. This is what the 3R Global currently is about. And now just to explain it a bit, why we are doing this right now at this moment in time, and it's, we're just right now fighting a lot of wars on the regulatory side. So we are still waiting for some licenses from DRC. So this is where we are stuck currently with our current project. And 3R Global was always on the roadmap, something that we really wanted to do. But it was just, we thought that doing the Africa part is far more important, far more impactful, because it's giving actually the connectivity to somebody who doesn't have it or who has really, really bad connectivity. And 3R Global is not so much focused on, changing really those lives, but it's about, making some lives easier, some things easier for everyone. So for the global communities, and it does aim to decentralized and take maybe a bit of centralized power away from the big telcos. So trying to disrupt that part of it. So and this is why we are pulling this up front, and yeah, trying to do this in the best way possible. And I can say I'm really satisfied with how things are currently developing. And I'll tell you a bit more during the this short presentation. So just first, so you understand a bit what we're trying to do, you need to understand how the current telecom mobile structure actually is set up. So on the one side, you have here, the MNOs. So those are the mobile network operators. They have set up and own the actual tower. So the physical infrastructure is actually theirs, and there are only a handful of those companies globally. And then you have the virtual mobile operators, so the MVNEs. And the MVNEs are actually also operators. They'll offer you a SIM card with their name and everything, but they don't own the infrastructure. They just lease the infrastructure. They use the infrastructure from the MNOs. And the first and most known MVNO is Virgin Mobile. So they actually started this concept, this model. And since then, it's been quite successful. Let's say it like this. There's I think a bit over 1,000 MVNEs out right now, and they usually just focus on some niches, or they have some bigger communities that they can sell their services to. But then while this model was usually just directly MNO MVNE, MNO sorry M MNO MVNO, this one we're looking at. Those were usually direct connections. But there are two other models that are popping up lately, and one is the virtual mobile network enabler. So the enabler is the one that is providing the software for the MVNOs to operate, and the MVNA is actually the aggregator, and this is the one that is connecting and doing mostly the contracts between MNOs and MVNOs. So what we're trying to do with 3R is to actually tokenize this MVNA part and run the MVNEs on chain. So these are what our blockchain should do, and also of course 3R should also be its own MVNO, so its own mobile virtual network operator. So also offering SIM cards directly. And so what are the problems that we are trying to solve? And on the customer side is roaming is still really expensive. If you travel a lot, I know kind of. The first thing that when I land somewhere in a new country, the first thing I'll go is to go look for a SIM card, because just turning your phone on sometimes will charge, will bring about charges, and it's so hard to really understand how much you'll be paying um, when you're roaming, unless you're in the EU, where the governments actually force the telcos um, to actually have standard rates. Wherever you go outside, it's just a total mess. You usually really don't know what you're doing, what you're gonna pay, and especially the data is really really expensive. So this is what we're trying to solve with our SIM card, and on the other side, it's also really just think about it when you're paying for your mobile service, for your mobile plan. You're usually just buying, a lot of internet, and a lot of minutes, and sometimes even unlimited minutes and so on. And then you really use just a tiny fraction of this. This is actually called breakage. So the amount of services that you actually bought on a monthly basis and you don't use, that's breakages, and that's where telcos make their money, most of their money on. And usually the plans are done like this, that there'll always be a lot of breakage, either on the calling side, on the minute side, or on the data plans. And this is also what we are intending to solve with. I'll tell you a bit more later when we are talking about the tokenization. And on the service provider side, it's not so easy to become a virtual mobile operator, right? I don't think that a lot of people, who also have some bigger communities or some smaller communities, are thinking about becoming, their own telcos, right? Why not? Because it's hard. It's a really big problem. It's some investment is needed, and that's not negligible. And the big problem is actually the regulatory side. So having all the contracts and enforcing everything, knowing in each jurisdiction that you operate, what kind of regulatory framework there is, and the requirements. So these are actually the biggest challenges, and there are also some challenges still going on with fraud, especially when there's roaming, and a lot of customer support. Customer support is a really really big cost driver for telcos, and also getting no, really good when we're talking about that everyone has some breakage there. That's on the consumer side, but also on the provider side, it's really really hard to get accurate pricing in. It's not so easy to actually price the your services optimally. So how we go about solving this is creating a permissionless layer one blockchain that will have this regulatory perspective that I was talking about actually integrated on chain. So this means that when you're using the chain and creating your own MVNO, you don't need to think about compliance, because we know what needs to be done, and we can ensure that this compliance is actually held at the end, at the level of the end user, or he doesn't get the service. So, the operator actually doesn't need to think about it. So this is the biggest burden and the biggest challenge in becoming a operator we're taking away. And of course, also, because it's permissionless and how it's set up, it also doesn't require a lot of capital investment. So if you want to go deeper, you maybe need to have some developers that will help you, create exactly the type of the service that you want to provide, and also innovate on that. So we tend to keep this open enough. But if you don't want to do this, it should be a, let's say, one-click solution. And we also want to integrate the data tokenization in. So everything that comes in from the contracts with the MNOs and other MVNOs is going to get tokenized and then sold as tokens. And you'll be able to buy these tokens, hold them in your wallet, and actually approve for your session of a call or something like that, you'll actually approve spending of those tokens. And you don't, so when you're calling or you're using any data, those tokens will get automatically burned, but they'll be burned only from a specific wallet. And this is also why we need our own layer one, because this is one special solution that we will need if we want to make things easy for the end user, right? It needs to be easy. If you need to do a call, or browse the internet, and you need to kind of confirm transactions to work, people won't do it. It won't get adoption. So this is what we are looking for, to really abstract away. So that's how it should work. And yeah, that's the data tokenization is how it's working. It creates the opportunity for secondary markets. So the tokens, they come from the actual network for operators, so from the actual telcos. And those telcos then provide the tokens to the system, and those they can get bought and sold. So the secondary, actually the market determines the actual price, and this should, in theory, bring about optimal pricing for everyone involved. So on one side, the telcos will be able to sell all of their bandwidth, and on the other side, the users will be able to actually get fair pricing for the tokens, because the secondary market will determine what the fair pricing is, how much are the consumers actually willing to pay for this. So that's about the secondary markets. And it will also allow everyone to just pay how much they want to use. So there's no packages. Everything is kind of pay as you go with optimal pricing. You don't need to think about and buying up bigger amounts of minutes or data upfront, because everything is done through the token. And of course, also because things are on chain, it's less possibility of some fraud happening. And if there's less fraud, then there's less customer support. And if things are transparent on chain, it's less customer support and can be easier automated and everything. So that's kind of the solution. And why is this? Why we think that this is right now the right time to implement something like this. And there is, the telcos are kind of really old giants, and they're constantly looking for new income, and it's not easy to get new customers. User customer acquisition costs are really, really high for telcos, because everyone knows they need a mobile phone, right? It's not something, you don't have a new market where you could source new people from. They literally need to steal the users from themselves. And of course, consumers are also constantly searching for better opportunities, for better packages, and for better roaming services. And for them, for the most part, it's really, pricing is the most important thing. But I would also argue that if we have strong communities that are communities in the first place, not telcos in the first place, then you have better brand association, and it's easier for people to stick with an operator if it's actually the operator from a community that they actually like. Uh, um, okay, that's market sizing. Of course, no, the opportunities are huge. We all know that the telco opportunity is huge, and this is actually just a small part of the telecom total revenue. And of course, also the blockchain market size is also, so both are really, really lucrative markets currently. The business model is, we'll be running our layer one blockchain, and we'll be earning the transaction gas fees, and also we'll be having a markup on the telecom services sales. So how will this look like? What's the actual roadmap that we envision to actually start implementing this? And stage one, and we need to take this in stages. Of course, it's a huge undertaking what we're trying to do, right? So stage one would be really acquiring an MVNO license with a global roaming agreement. So this would be only one. This would be only one country as a base, and all the other countries would, it's with the start, be roaming, a roaming agreement. And of course, when we have this, we can start selling, eSIMs with data packages. And this, at first stage, it won't be even connected to the blockchain per se. Some things will be. We're also creating a ecosystem of nodes that will allow to become validators on our layer one. And yeah, we're right now thinking about how to actually bring those nodes, the values of those nodes, to our existing community and to our existing token holders. So we're really trying to figure a sustainable and really good and legal model in particular. We're also talking with some really cool projects, one in particular that will allow us to uh, in a sense, write our own regulatory framework. So we've been invited actually to help write a regulatory framework for telcos, so for startups. And this is something pretty amazing, and I think it will help us getting traction and actually, having less problems along the way. So this is why I think having really good legal support is really important. And we've seen this what's actually happening right now in DRC. Of course, then in stage two, we want to deploy the nodes, and when we had the nodes deployed, I think we'll do the eSIM cards as NFTs. That's not 100% sure yet if we'll do that. But this will also allow us to start earning, the gas fees and yeah, running our blockchain. And then stage three is actually the expansion stage. We should then go to different jurisdiction and start becoming MVNOs in different countries. This should lower then also the prices for the end users, and also bring about then exponential growth. And on stage four, we're doing then the data tokenization and also integrating some IoT. And at stage five, we are allowing the other communities to actually becoming a virtual mobile operators themselves permissionlessly from our blockchain. And on stage six, and that's far away, is actually becoming our own MNO. And this means that we would start running our own physical infrastructure, but guided through the community and built with the community, and actually the community becoming the owner of the physical infrastructure, and of course, having all the benefits that come with that. Yeah, so that's kind of the idea behind it. Currently, we are finalizing the white paper still. I think the white paper could be finished by the end of next week, or at least the first final draft can be finalized by then.
Sandi, thank you very much. This was really, really interesting, and you give us really a full insight of what 3Air is doing right now. I have a question, maybe just regarding to competition and everything else. Roaming, like you said, is really a problem. Wherever we go, we have problem with that. Like you said, just trying to find out where we can, go through or find the cheapest. The cheapest way to do roaming in other foreign countries, but you are stepping into, let's say, maybe someone else's territory with this idea, because like you said, there are no prices. Everyone could just name their own price, and this will be now sort of arranged. Do you see any problems with that? Let's say competitors or people that are already in this business.
I know quite a lot how these things are done, and it's not nice, and they literally don't care. But I think we'll have a lot of support in the beginning. I think usually how telcos would support something like that usually just to see how it works, and then once they see it works, they'll just try to buy it up. So that's kind of the usual scenario. And if they cannot buy it, then they'll try to stop it. And yes, we are thinking about that. We have a few experienced people in that were running MVNOs for, I think, over around 15 years, something like that. So really really successful MVNOs in the past. So they do know what competition means. So we are preparing for that, and actually the regulatory framework that I mentioned is should grant us some additional licenses that yeah that'll make it harder for competition to actually totally block us out.
Okay. Now you went through all the stages you represented to us. What do you think? When could this first stage start, and how long would it take to actually complete it? To come to the last stage.
Yeah, so currently, as I said, we are finalizing the white paper. There are a few things still that we need to figure out. And in the meantime, we're also doing some fundraising. And to have this set up as an MVP, we need around 1 million of funding. And we have currently around 370K of commitments, but it's always like this. So there is interest, there is a lot of interest, but there's always questions about how it will work. And just we need to have a really strong white paper, and I think then we'll get in the million. But it is hard right now. So in the crypto space currently, with everything that's going on, it's harder and harder to get the really good capital in. So let's see. I am confident that we can get this together. And as I said, so 370K has been committed. This doesn't mean that we have the money. We don't have the money yet. So we need to get to the full million before the commitments actually come in. So if we cannot show that we have everything that we need to actually pull the first stage off with the MVP, then yeah, we're not getting this money. So just to make it clear that a commitment doesn't mean that we have the money yet. And the MVP will actually consist of our SIM card that we will be issuing, and the first set of node validators.
Mhm. In which part of the world or in which countries could this be done?
So I'll not tell you which country we are actually talking to right now, but it is in the, in, let's say, they're around Latin Central
Okay.
America part.
Okay, interesting. This is really, really something great coming up. Who is the team behind the idea, Sandi, besides you?
So we have some guys joining us from some different crypto project, high level crypto project that have been doing their own layer one and nodes and so on. And on the telco side, we have two guys joining, um, with both of them over 10 years of experience in the telco side. So one was actually running three big MVNOs in Australia, and the other one is actually from Canada. He just recently sold his telco startup, also successfully exited, and he's now looking for some new opportunities and challenges. And let's see. I think at least one of them I can pull on our AMA, and after we have, well, maybe next time, or let's say two times. I need to speak to him. I'm just overstepping again. I need to speak to him and ask him if he wants to join.
It's great to see you know so uh, enthusiastic about this, Sandy. What does that mean? With this new project, what does that mean for the project in Africa? How will there be the development going?
If in Africa, currently Africa is on hold. I need to say Africa is on hold until we get the license. Until we get the license, and it is frustrating. It's really, really frustrating for me, for the whole team. Everything was set, and we should have gotten this license, a few months back, and it's still not there. But, it's always promises it will be tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, but it's unfortunately, it's still not there.
Okay, so we're having our fingers crossed that it works. James was asking a question in our community on Telegram. Is 3Air in any way affected by developing banking crisis?
Well, not directly. We didn't have any funds on Silicon Valley Bank, and either way, that was actually resolved recently. So SVB is kind of, the U.S. government is guaranteeing for all the depositors. So from that side, we are not affected at all. But of course, because of all those things, where we are affected is, it's getting harder and harder to really. Um, to really get funding in. Fundraising is becoming really, really hard. Also, wherever we go now, and it's a lot of regulatory pressures. It's a lot of regulatory pressures also on the token side. Making token not to be a security, it's really, really important, as we've seen with the lawsuits that are coming up, and the US claiming that even ETH might be a security. It's going to be really hard, I think, for all the crypto projects. So this is what we're also trying to solve a bit right now, to make it 100% no security. And I think we found a way. We found a really, really smart way how to do this through the notes.
Okay, that was a little bit of market update. Is something else right now going on at the market?
I'm just really surprised how well the crypto market is holding up. I expected it to crash down, but it was just, exploding. Of course, we know why it was exploding, but I don't know why it was exploding so much. So when I saw that the regulators are actually going after crypto from, the U.S. regulators, um, they literally in 1 week they destroyed all three crypto banks, all three crypto friendly banks. So SVB just collapsed because they did some mistakes in investing their assets. But they, of course, they invested in long-term assets. They didn't expect the Fed to raise interest rates so quickly as they did in the last year, and also beginning of this year. So this is what actually made the the bonds that they invested in, the 10-year bonds, actually worth almost 30-40% less. So this was where they couldn't pay out the depositors when the bank run came. So that was the big problem with Silicon Valley Bank, and then we got Signature Bank that just closed, and also Silvergate that also closed down. So it was a coordinated attack. However, I don't see it anywhere else. It was a coordinated attack to actually get all the banking system, cut away from crypto. And also the officials, they actually published some warning for the banks to not hold crypto, and so on. So it's really, really hard for, especially for the institutions, to right now get money into crypto. And this is where I was really skeptical if I was really expecting the market to actually crash. Yeah, but it didn't happen. It just, it crashed a bit. It went down to just 21K or something like that, and then it just shot up like crazy. So this is actually the biggest thing. Of course, the other thing is also, attack on the stable coins, as we've seen. BUSD has been attacked and will, cease operating. We also saw USDC depegging. I don't know if that was kind of, a bit of the intention. I don't think so. It was just, some collateral damage happening from SVB going down, because Circle, that is issuing USDC, was actually had, I think, around 10% of its asset blocked there. So, all those things have resolved right now, except for the thing that, the institutions still in the US cannot find banking. But I think that, we are right now getting then a bit better regulation and a bit better support from the governments on the other side, on the Asian side. And I think this is more or less pumping the markets. Yeah, and what was pumping the markets? All the markets have been pumping because, it's funny, when something breaks in the system, as it did break, for the banking system in the US, everyone is just, starting to deploy money because everyone is expecting the Fed to not raise rates anymore. So we went from 75 basis point. That was predicted, for next week's rate hike, down to 50, and now we are on 25, and some are even saying that there'll be no more rate hikes at all. I do think we are, 1-2 times we'll see still, maybe 125 or 225 rate hikes. And yeah, that's why the markets were pumping, and especially after the banks broke down, and then we also got some good numbers for inflation numbers coming out on Tuesday.
Sandy, we have some questions from Richard. How much funding and time is needed for building a layer 1 blockchain? How does this combine with SKALE?
So yeah, look, first of all, we are looking to create a MVP. So an MVP isn't that hard to do. So of course, if you are for everything that we plan to do, yeah, it's gonna go into millions. But this is what we are gonna raise once we have a working MVP. So with a working MVP, I know where I can get enough funding to actually make this work. But for the MVP, I don't think we need more than 1 million to actually work, because look, there's so many. You can now even build a blockchain with just using some SDK and so on, or you can just use a fork or anything like that. There's a lot of things that are public, and just free for everyone to use. So from that side, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can get this done with 1 million.
Okay. What will happen if DRC permits will not be given?
What will happen? So we didn't lay out a plan B out for that. So that was kind of not an option, but we'll probably start focusing more on 100% on 3R Global, and raising some additional capital, and then we'll look into Ethiopia, or start building out, maybe potentially Sierra Leone. But we need some testing ground where we don't have live users that are used to something already. So we don't want to risk the users there.
Okay. Are the revenues from Sierra Leone go to K3 only, or also a bit towards 3R?
They go only to K3. So 3R didn't do anything in Sierra Leone currently for, those are all the users that are actually from K3. So until we actually integrate something from three air directly with the K3 users, we're not going to get any revenue from there.
Okay, Sandy. Sandy, what will be the steps in, let's say, the next 14 days when we will be away, not being able to be on our AMA? What will be happening?
We are currently really focused on finalizing all the paperwork that we need, and yeah, beside that, we are also on the lookout for fundraising. But the real fundraising will actually begin once we have all the paperwork done. Right now, we are more or less just really, the people that we know, the VCs that we know. We're sorry, a bit talking to them, and seeing, if they like the idea and if they would be willing to fund it. And once this is yeah, once we have this, then we can actually see if we can get the funding in.
Okay. You are leaving for Cairo tomorrow. What will be happening there?
I'll be, you know what, I'll be moderating my first panel. I was invited to speak at a conference, at a big tech conference there. It's called Rise Up, and it was postponed actually three times. So now, in the third time, I think it will be successful. But there will be the moderator that was planned. He can't make it, so I'll be. It looks like I'll be moderating the panel.
That is great, Sandy. This is a great role.
So I need some advice from your side how to do
No
it.
problem. Well, you see, this is a very interesting role, being on the other side because you're always answering the questions. Now you will be the one, asking others. And of course, I'm sure also giving all your opinion. And I'm so sorry that I can't be
Sorry,
there to see you.
needed to connect my phone
Oh, yeah.
to the charger. I'm running out of
Okay.
battery.
But we almost made it till the end, Sandy, with all the technical problems that we had. We're now okay. And we really had a great image today with so much information and also answering some questions that have been put into our comment section. And so thank you very much, Sandy, for this update. It is very important that everyone who is in our community and also involved with 3Air gets information about what is going on. That this was really great with all the presentation and everything. And I'm sure that there will be some questions coming up also on our channels and Telegram especially. So I know that you will be also be answering them there. But in 2 weeks we are back here on our regular AMA, giving, of course, new information. I wish you all the best, Sandy,
Thank
and
you.
great
Yeah,
time in Egypt. And, just be great at the new role that you will be playing there.
let's see. We'll try to. I don't know if it's gonna be recorded or not, but I'll try to record it. And maybe I don't. You know what? I don't even know what the panel is about yet. So
Oh my God, you know what is the first?
for sure, it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be blockchain. I know it's gonna be blockchain, but I don't actually know the actual topic yet.
So the first rule is to know the topic, good to get prepared, this is the first rule, but it is so much better if it is a subject that you're familiar with and it's your subject that you're connected. So I don't see any problems there, but still find out what the talk will be about. Okay.
Yeah, I asked already. Didn't get the answer yet.
Okay, they're not serious. Tell them you are not taking this serious because I need the information. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for being with us. And thanks, everybody, of course, that you are here with us, asking questions, getting involved with the project. And of course, we're looking forward to have you back here in 14 days. Bye bye, everybody. Sandy, also to you. Bye.